Fáilte ar Bunaíodh Gaelscoil Chnoc na ré I 1996 agus is I an tain Gaelscoil I County Sligo. Tá an scoil ag faighdeamú ó 1998 ó Clobteach le clúa le Gaelscoil muire le 10 seomra raibh déanta ag donna níos an freisin. Tá na háisna Harbheith banúsach agus faoi caighdeán, níl hala tinólán, tá costas ardréata agus faoinmh á íoc ag an scoil. So just a bit of history to this project. In 2006, the department initiated site acquisition of via POW offices for a site to be purchased for a new Gaelscoil in Sligo. In 2009, at the school initiative, nearby land was zoned for community use. In 2020, following Sligo County Council efforts, the department acquired a 4-acre site. The site is fully supported by planning, roads, heritage and Irish water as suitable for a school. In May 2022, the department appointed a consultant project manager to drive the design team in this. In the 14th of June, which was good, an architectural design team was to be appointed, which was 13 months after the project manager's engagement, which was all very positive. This is under the ADAPT 3 programme requirement, which is intended to expedite the delivery for schools in leased accommodation. So after all these stages, expeding, I suppose, the whole point of this ADAPT programme is accelerated delivery of architectural planning and tendering. But this is going on, so the actual project at the moment is still at stage 1, after going through all these processes, and it should be well up on stage 2A at this stage. So I suppose the question I'm raising here is, there's nearly like soundings of the Children's Hospital Minister on this at this stage, because there's performance periods in contract have been routinely breached without consequences. There's been no revised programme was communicated. The department never received a programme about the school. It was only achieved actually through a freedom of information. The school have reported poor communication, withheld information and lack of structural engagement between the school management and the Department of Education. The department is paying $181,000 annually in leased prefab accommodation. The school is forced to seek increased voluntary contributions to avoid closure, and it's the only Gaelscoil in Sligo, and the population of Sligo as it's growing. So taxpayers' money are being wasted through prolonged consultant engagement and delivery. So I think the main concerns we have here, and I know that the management of the school, the Previta, the Previta is set to retire. He's been working on this. He's been a principal in that school for generations, and he's set to retire. He thought he'd be well moved in this stage. We have the site is there, the planning is there. So I suppose the concerns we have now, this has been raised, is there's the failure to uphold the ADAPT 3 policy despite its incorporation into contract documents. So it has been approved. There's a lack of programme discipline and there's an absence of departmental oversight. So despite having a suitable site, clear planning support, dedicated local authority efforts, and the County Council are fully on board with this, and a detailed set of contractual programme requirements, the project to deliver a permanent building for the Gaelscoil Chnoc na ré has stalled entirely. Agus níl sé sin ceart, níl sé carm go caig an scoil fannacht go fada le seán fragra, agus ní mór doing ran éigen a dhéanamh faoi seo. So we níl isagin catá a dhéanamh again inis.
Thank you very much, Senator, for raising this important project. And Gaelscoils, if there's only one, this is the only one I think you said there in County Sligo. These are projects that should be absolutely supported, nourished and given every bit of, I suppose, support, both financial and leadership-wise, to ensure that they get to do it. And I do appreciate and feel for the principal, who's obviously been the person who's championed this for many, many years. And I suppose I'm quite lucky in County Monaghan. We have 4 of those schools, but again, they're not without their challenges in terms of actually getting them across the line and getting boots on the ground. So I appreciate you raising it today, and it is incredibly important for Scoil Chnoc na ré in Sligo. Thank you for raising the matter, and provides me with the opportunity on behalf of the Minister for Education and Youth, who can't be here with us today, to outline in the Shannon the current position in relation to the major building project for Gaelscoil Chnoc na ré in Sligo. This project is included in the Department of Education and Youth construction programme, which will be delivered under the National Development Plan as part of Project Ireland 2040 framework. The brief for this project is to develop a new 12-classroom primary school with additional classrooms for pupils with special additional needs on a greenfield site. The major building project is currently at stage 2A of architectural planning, development design, where the preferred agreed design option can be developed to a stage where the project is fully costed and planned, and the scheme is prepared to lodge for statutory approvals for the local authority. And I know you went through a very detailed summary of the history of all the various stages this has been with, so I'm sure none of this is new to you. The Department of Education and Youth has reviewed the Stage 2A submission from the design team, and the Stage 2A stakeholders meeting was held on the 2nd of July 2025, with representatives from the school authorities, design team, project management and the department in attendance. The meeting concluded with a request for the design team to submit a 2A addendum report addressing issues raised by the department at the meeting. The Stage 2A addendum report has recently been received and is currently being reviewed by the department. Upon review of Stage 2A report, the department will advise all stakeholders regarding the further progression of this project. In July, the Government announced a capital allocation of €7.55 billion for the Department of Education and Youth for the period of 2026 to 2030 under the NDP. As part of the NDP allocation, the Department will place a strong emphasis on provision for children with special education needs, with a particular focus on meeting annual school place needs and requirements. In relation to the project rollout for large-scale projects and additional school accommodation scheme projects, the approach will be to continue to maximise the capacity of the existing school estate as much as possible in the first instance, and provide necessary additional capacity through targeted and prioritised project rollout over the course of 2026 to 2030 period to meet the urgent need and prioritised needs. It is in the plan that circa 80 school building projects will progress to construction across 26 to 27 as part of Year 2 rolling programme. And as I said, considering what you said here today, being a Gaelscoil and the only one in Sligo, it surely must take priority.
Neil on Fragger Squeefrag, when we will get it to you after the session.
Oh yeah, Garmargot. Yep, August Garbila Margot, that's the Fragger. So it's positive. There's positive news. I mean, and so we don't know whether it's in the 80 or not. We don't know if it's included in this, but
the response that we've got that it would be. I can't be certain, but we can certainly ask the Minister to clarify that.
And that'd be wonderful. Gar Mila Margus, agus you know Mar Darren Shanockle, 10 focal le gwe och 10 willa le Chnoc. So Gar Mila Margut na her.
Irish.
Yes, so as I said, Senator, I will ask that I've just taken a note of it there for the Minister to see if we can get clarity on the 80 schools, that is in that. I'm sure there will be lots of competition to be in that 80, but as I said, being the only Gaelscoil, and of course we know the demand and the pressures are there to provide accommodation for children with additional special needs, and the school is happy and being an inclusive school and encompassing that in their plans, I'm sure makes that school certainly head and shoulders maybe above other applications in terms of doing so much for everybody within the community in the local area. So since 2026, the Department of Education and Youth has invested over €6 billion in schools throughout the country under the NDP, involving the completion of over 1,300 school projects. In addition, over 200 SEN repurposing projects have been delivered, maximising the use of existing accommodation while creating opportunities for inclusion and integration. And that inclusion should include the Irish language, might I add as well. Government support for this investment, including by way of supplementary capital funding, has delivered real benefits for school communities. Supplementary capital funding of €210 million approved by Government has brought the total capital allocation of 2025 for the Department of Education and Youth to €1.6 billion. All government departments are expected to publish their sectoral NDP implementation plans in November. The department's plan will optimise outputs from the NDP allocations with a strong focus on maximising existing school capacity and progressing priority projects where local capacity across schools in the area is insufficient, and ensuring delivery that is affordable, offers value for money and meets functional needs.